Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Tazria Metzora. The question of the week is, how can we create light amongst this tremendous darkness? So in this week's Torah portion, Parshas Tazria Metzora, double Torah portion, the Rebbe, 29 years ago, the last Sicha that the Rebbe gave on this Torah portion, Parshas Tazria Metzora, the Rebbe asked a simple question. You have two Torah portions, and if there's two, there should be a connection. Seemingly, they're opposite. Why? Because Parshas Tazria means Kisha Isha Kisazria V'yolda. A woman is giving birth. There's redemption, something new, something alive. What does the second Torah portion deal with? Metzora, a leper, which is the opposite of life. If you look into the Torah portion of Tazria, in the Torah portion itself, the beginning speaks about giving birth, and the rest of the Torah portion deals with different plagues. In the second Torah portion, Parshas Metzora, it begins with a leper, and it speaks about purity, seemingly opposite. So the Rebbe explains that if you look into the whole idea of Negoyim, of plagues that were brought upon the Jewish people, the truth is you'll see that when the Torah says Adam ki yiyeh b'orv sarai, now we know Adam is referring to the tremendous quality of a human being, and this leprosy that I'll have will be ki yiyeh, and it's not always going to be when it will be, where it will be, b'or in the skin, which is the external part of the person, not in his essence, in his bones or his blood or his flesh. It'll be in the skin, and it'll only be a nega, it'll only be touching it. So you see, even the nega is only external. What does that mean, the Rebbe explains? Because the truth is the negoyim, that what we see as a nega is only externally. The truth is that comes from a very, very high spiritual place. As the Rebbe points out, based on the Zohar says that nega, which is a plague, has the same letters as oineg, pleasure, which means what we see as a nega, as a plague, in its source, it's coming from a very, very high spiritual place, as called oineg ha'elya, in the high level of oineg, which is a high level in the sfirot, in the union of Keser. And the Rebbe explains it even a step further, because we know that the Zohar says that the word of HaMetzora is the same letters, the same numerical value as the word Tohu. We know there's Tohu and there's Tikkun. Tikkun is the normal, consistent world. Then there's Tohu, the place with tremendous light, but we can't handle it. Tohu numerically is 411, and HaMetzora is also 411. So you see that even the Metzora that we look at, oh my gosh, a leper, but the truth is it's coming from a very, very high spiritual place. And as Rebbe brings from Psalms, where King David says, "Oiseisenu lo re'inu," all these tremendous wonders, they're wonders. Oiseisenu, they're miracles, they're wonders. Lo re'inu, we don't see it as a wonder. Why? Because we're limited. We only see the challenges, we see the darkness. But the truth is, it's oiseisenu. Or as the Rebbe brings another verse, where it says, "La'oisen aflois gedolos levadoi." Ki lo ilam chazdoi. It's from Psalms. We say it in davening and Shabbat. And what does it say? L'oisei neflois gedolos livadoi. All these neflois gedolos, these huge miracles. Levadoi, the only one that sees it as a miracle is Hashem. We see, oh my gosh, a plague, a disaster, darkness. That's what we see. But the truth is, it's coming from a very, very high spiritual place. So the Rebbe says, the truth is that everything that happens is good. But when you have things which are so dark, we don't see it, or it's only Lavadi Hashem sees it. Those are the big miracles. Those are the big neflaot. But if it's great and big, how do we see it? The Rebbe says, here's something beautiful. Because the truth is that it's tremendously a huge blessing, the problem is we don't see it, so the truth is it's light. For us, it's darkness. But the truth is it's light. So we don't have to create light. The only thing we have to do is reveal the light. How do we reveal the light? So the Rebbe brings from the Zohar. The Zohar says a famous line, Imratz libcha, you're on a high. You're running to the huge, you want to have a state of ecstasy. What does the Zohar say? Shuv. You got to return le'echad. You got to bring it down to this world. Why? Because our mission is to take this rotzui, this tremendous light that's out there that we don't see, and our job is to bring it into the world. How do we bring it into the world? L'echad. So the l'echad is the idea of oneness. When we're bottled, when we're humbled, when we have true humility, we bring it down. How does one bring it down? So the Rebbe says, the Torah says very clearly. What does the Torah say? Zois tia Torah hamatzorah. This should be the Torah of the Mitzorah. Rabbi asks me Torah HaMitzorah. It should be Tahara HaMitzorah, the purity of the Mitzorah. Why does it say Torah HaMitzorah? Because the Torah is teaching you how do you take this Mitzorah, which to us looks like it's a plague, an epidemic, darkness, and how do you bring it down into this world where it's light? Torah. By studying Torah, that's the way you create the purity, which means you take what looks like darkness and you make it in a revealed way by learning Torah. Why? What is the power of Torah? Because when a person learns Torah, but really learns Torah, not academically, but you're learning Torah because you're connecting to Hashem, in a way, v'nafshi ka'afar l'kol tia, where you're humbled because you're learning Hashem's Torah. So when you learn Torah in that manner, that brings the true and greatest humility within yourself. And when you bring humility within yourself through learning Torah, that is zois Torah HaMitzorah, and then you will merit to not create new light, just to reveal this powerful light which we don't see, and will merit to see the light. So to answer the question, how can we create light amongst this tremendous darkness? The Rebbe says you don't have to create the light, you have to reveal the light. And the way you reveal the light is by learning Torah with humility. V'nafshi ka'afar l'kol tia, we will merit to reveal this tremendous light that looks so dark, and people are struggling, and all the tremendous darkness will get to see this great light in a revealed, beautiful way. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. This week's Torah lesson is dedicated to the memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib, Shlomo ben Yosef, and Rachel Baslipa. May their souls be elevated by the Torah we're studying in their memory. Thanks again for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information, please see our website, chabadswf.org. Thanks again, and Shavua Tov.